Well, welcome to Project Thankful, everyone. We're so glad you're joining us tonight. My name is Kirsten Hood, and I live with my husband and my family in Boca Raton, Florida. We are so excited that you've joined us for Project Thankful because here we are in the month of November, and it's Thanksgiving. And, being grateful and thankful is forefront in our mind. And so tonight, we just can't wait to share some stories of gratefulness because of health being recovered through a product called Juice Plus. And, we were introduced to Juice Plus 15 years ago. And at the time, my kids were really small. They were just about 3, 7, and 9. They struggled terribly with asthma, ear infections, sinus infections. But, as a parent, there is nothing scarier when your child can't breathe. And that's what we were dealing with. We were checking on them in the middle of the night to make sure they were breathing. We had tried all kinds of remedies, but a girlfriend of mine said, Kirsten, why don't you look at nutrition? And Juice Plus is literally fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And it's made such a difference in my life. Maybe it will in yours. And we said, okay. And we tried it with our kids. And I'm telling you, 15 years later, we have health, has been restored in our family. No more asthma, no more ear infections, no more sinus infections. My boys are now 18, 22, and 24. They are so strong. They're all athletes, college athletes. They go 100 miles an hour. And I am so grateful that a friend of mine took the time to share with me the power of nutrition and the power of Juice Plus. And so I'm thrilled you're joining us tonight because we're going to introduce you to some fabulous people who have some incredible health stories. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first guest tonight joining us is Katie Zitzman. And Katie lives in Boca Raton, Florida with her husband. And they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. So we're so excited for them. Happy anniversary, Katie. And, she had a health crisis about 3 years ago, but finally got some hope and some health restored in the last few months. So I can't wait to hear your story, Katie. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten, and thank you everyone who is listening. So as Kirsten said, my story begins about 3 years ago. Before I moved down here, I was living in New York City and living the fabulous city life where I thought I was pretty healthy. I walked everywhere. I kickbox. I would run along the East River. But I also ate whatever I wanted to. And being originally from Wisconsin, that consisted of a lot of cheeses and things like that. So it wasn't exactly the healthiest diet per se. So 3 years ago, exactly to this day pretty much, I contracted a bacterial food poisoning, which for those of you that are thinking, oh, you were sick for 24 hours, maybe in the hospital to get an IV, it's totally different than that. I was so incredibly sick for almost about 3 months. I couldn't eat anything. I was pretty much bedridden. I was in a lot of pain. And I also started having a lot of major anxiety because I had fear to leave my house for not being in close proximity to a bathroom. And the doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on. My tongue even turned black from the amount of bacteria that was building up in my digestive system and up my esophagus. And so after several rounds of intense antibiotics and a really strict diet of mainly just chicken and rice and some broth, I finally started to recover, but I still had some minor problems that I had never really had before in the past. So fast forward to a few months and I got really sick again, and they put me through all these tests. They couldn't figure out what it was. And eventually they had to do a colonoscopy, which for those of you who have had one done, you know how fun those are. But they ended up finding a precancerous polyp on my colon, which the doctor had said that it was really a miracle that I was having all these signs of it, because they normally wouldn't do a colonoscopy on someone that was as young as I was. But because they did it, they were able to find this precancerous polyp. So I thought, okay, great. My problems are solved. I'm going to be healthy again and all is well. So, but I still had these minor symptoms, and I go on, in a few more months, I wake up with a horrible pain in my side. And immediately I rush to the doctor, and they tell me that I need to go through all these tests again. So they thought that I had anything from appendicitis to Crohn's disease to ulcerative colitis to you name it. They thought I had it. And mind you, throughout all these years, my weight was yo-yoing 10 to 20 pounds at least. And so it was really scary. And so during this time, this was actually, my last bout was actually earlier this year in January. And about a month into it, I got introduced to Julie Herbst, who I know many of you know and know how wonderful she is. And she was able to tell me how I could add something to my diet that really might help me. And so I was skeptical at first, but at this point, I was willing to try anything. My body had been completely wiped out of any good nutrition or good bacteria or anything that would help me get healthy again from all the antibiotics that I was on. And so I started taking these small capsules that had all the fruits and vegetables in them that I needed on a daily basis to basically flood my body with the proper nutrition to help me get healthy again. And little by little, I started feeling better. And a couple months went by and I was still feeling better, and I wasn't having any of these small symptoms that I had. And now I've been on it for 8 or 9 months, and I have had 0 symptoms. And I am so thankful that God put Julie in my life at that time, and that she was able to introduce me to Juice Plus. And I'm just really, really grateful to have my health back.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Katie. We are so thankful that you have your health back too. It's those little capsules, it's amazing what they can do. The next person we're going to hear from tonight is Jamin Shineflew, and she is a nurse. She's a mom of 5 kids. She lives in Alabama, and the improvements that she has seen in her health and her family's health is really wonderful. So I can't wait for you to hear from Jamin. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank everybody for being here and for listening tonight. My story starts as I turned 30, and I thought everything was going downhill, especially the wrinkle that was going across my forehead. I thought for sure it was a mistake, it must have gotten lost somewhere. It needs to be somewhere else, not on me. So I was buying anti-wrinkle creams, anti-aging creams, and really trying to, vainly fix my face. So my mom, she met this amazing lady, Stacy, and she said she was just talking about her one day, and she said, she's glowing, and she's just beautiful, and she's happy, and I heard glowing, and that's all I needed to hear. And I was like, okay, Juice Plus, check, I got it. So I ordered it. After I ordered it, I got it in the mail, and of course, like Kirsten said, I'm a mom of 5. I suffered from postpartum depression and also migraines. Postpartum after my twins, it lasted for a long time. It didn't go away within a few months. I was medicated for it. I loved my kids, but I didn't really want to see them in the morning when I woke up. I wasn't happy that they were there, and that's not normal. That's not okay to feel. And it was the depression. I was fighting migraines, at least three a month, and having to take medication for them. I can remember laying on the couch with a sheet tied around my head, as tight as it could go, for relieving pressure that you don't want to see light, you don't want to hear things, you don't want anything to affect anything inside your head. It's pain, it's debilitating. So that kept me from being the mom and the wife and the person I wanted to be every single day. It affected everything about me. And I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to sleep all the time. Just that's what depression does. It makes you unable to cope with daily life. So I was a week into taking Juice Plus. This is where it gets fun. I was a week into taking Juice Plus, And I remember waking up and I thought, well, let's go on the back porch and dance, just total out of this, it wasn't me. It wasn't who I was, but it is who I am. And I was out on the back porch dancing with my babies at 7:30 in the morning. And I remember the naps went away. I would sleep when they sleep. That was from my mom, definitely sleep when they sleep. That's when you get your naps in. I didn't need to do that anymore. I had energy. I felt the depression going away. My migraines, a month into it, I kept thinking, I didn't have a migraine this month. My migraines were gone. I am now 14 months into this Juice Plus, and the fruits and vegetables and the amazing life that this is, 14 months migraine free. I don't need naps anymore. And I am currently off of, and this is a huge step for me to be able to say, off of all medications, depression medicine, migraine medicine, ibuprofen, anything, pain, anything like that, nothing. So that's my story. And then we get into the twins. Okay, so the twins, they have been eating Juice Plus for, 14 months now. 14 months into this, and they request salads instead of pizza. We were having pizza the other night, and neither one of them wanted it. So, and we have a tower garden, and which is growing food inside our house. So they'll go and eat spinach right off of the tower garden. Their body's craving it because that's what we've been feeding it. So that's what they start to crave. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I wouldn't believe it had I not been living it. My oldest son suffered from sinus infections, and he really 3 different medications a day. And that's a lot to take. That's a lot to deal with. And he would have one a month. Once a month, we were in the doctor's office for sinus infections. Something inside his head just felt bad all the time. And we are 14 months into this after he has been flooding his body with fruits and vegetables. And he has not had a sinus infection in 14 months. Just that alone would be enough for me to say as a mom how thankful I am for Juice Plus, because it's given me my kids back. It's given me my life back. Sorry. And the magic beans or the Juice Plus, or whatever you want to call it, it's given us a way to be a family again, and for me to be present and able to give and to love and to be happy. So thankfulness doesn't even begin to describe how grateful I am for Juice Plus and for the community and the people that are surrounding it. So that's me. Thank you, Kristen.
Oh, Jamin was celebrating with you. That is amazing. Congratulations. And what gratitude to have your life back. It's so exciting.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Love these stories. And now we're going to hear from April Barnett. April Barnett is in Las Vegas, and she actually has some wonderful friends with her that she's going to interview and share some incredible stories. So thank you, April.
Thank you. I wanted to start by saying I've been with the company for 7 years, and it's stories like this that keep me sharing. And I just have some customers on the line with me, and I am so excited for you guys to hear their story. They're also here in Las Vegas, and their story has given me so much hope for, really dealing with things that are difficult, and I'm hoping it brings hope for you guys as well. Sully is a mom of Harley here, and I want to introduce her. She's such a sweetheart. Sully, I want to start with, I'm going to do question and answer because they've never been on a Zoom like this, and so we're kind of guiding here, but I want to do question and answer. So Sully, can I have you kind of start by sharing with us where you were with kind of dealing with your mom, and what happened with Sully when he was injured?
So first of all, I was already into juicing, but it requires a lot of time, energy, and cost. And so when my mother got diagnosed with cancer, I was devastated, and I really wasn't having much of an appetite or feeling like eating. And then a year into her diagnosis, my son, Harley, shattered both of his legs in a freakish trampoline accident. And at one point, the two people that I love both most in the world were suffering. And I was not able to eat food and enjoy it. I had extreme anxiety and depression, and I developed irritable bowel syndrome. I knew that nutrition was important, but it was really difficult for me to get the food in. So I would eat like a hard-boiled egg and a green juice. Sometimes I would eat ramen because it tasted good, but I knew it was nothing. It was so bad for me. And I felt really a lot of guilt and fear for not being able to eat when I knew I needed to. So then Steph is this person that I know who's a consultant, and I totally admire her, and she would help him with massage because he has complex regional pain syndrome from this, which is where his brain puts out pain signals that his body can't really handle. So she started talking about the Juice Plus, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll take that and see what, since I believe in that, and I respected and trusted her. I thought, okay, let me give this a try since it's powder form of what I'm already doing. And so I was taking it, and then they had a study that said that that you guys would allow Harley to take it as long as he filled out his questionnaire, which I really appreciated the fact that somebody wasn't trying to make money off of me, that they really wanted to find out how they were helping young people. And so she got him to take it. So in between time, I'm starting to feel like better. Looking at my hair is glowing, my skin's looking good. Every time I look at a picture of myself, I'm thinking, God, I really like how terrific I look, how healthy I look. Not prettiness, but glowing and, youthful. And then this guy who'd been taking it pretty regularly, he tells me, go ahead and say.
Basically, I have been on probably every single SSRI possible. I've been on so many countless medications since I was 10 years old. I've been having stomach issues, and when I was 15 years old, I shattered both my legs, causing just extreme pain, constantly 24/7 nerve pain. I'm extremely sensitive to the cold. Just any type of pain, I'm extremely sensitive in my leg area, and I have been on countless medications for this issue specifically. And I have probably been taking Juice Plus since the beginning of this year religiously. And I'd say about a month ago, I had this sudden urge to completely, not cold turkey, but just I had the urge to not want to be on these medications anymore. And I'm already weaning off slowly, and I'm feeling better than I ever have, being off of these medications and feeding my brain nutrition that it needs, because that's really what my brain was craving, not an SSRI or a pain medication. My brain
I,
needs nutrition.
I love what you said when you take it in the morning, how you feel. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I take I take 3 pills out of each, or 2 pills out of each container, and I have that all in the morning as a super dose. And whenever I take this in the morning, I immediately feel as though I have a warm layer surrounding my body. I'm suddenly less susceptible to the cold hurting my legs. Um, I just find myself in a better mood. I have much more energy. I feel as though I'm drinking a small cup of coffee, and I do not like caffeine. I do not like uppers. I don't mean a type of jittery energy. I mean just a natural energy where I feel like I can get up and tackle the day and get things done.
So when he told me that, I contacted Steph and said, look, I already really like the stuff, but you might want to let some people know that he feels like it's actually like affecting his pain. And I
I
thought
love what you said as a mom. You're like, your son, and when he was saying he could feel something, it really got some light bulbs on for you.
Yes, because he's already has a central nervous system, and what that means is that his body magnifies pain and discomfort. So when he says that he feels it, like maybe more than I would, I really believe that. I knew exactly what he was talking about. And the other thing is, like you said, is like when you said your kids were craving good food, so the other woman. That Harley is just all of a sudden all about nutrition, just talking about nutrition all the time. And that was important to me for a long, long, long time, right? And then now my son is like, I'm not having to cajole him. So it just changed his whole outlook as well on, and nutrition, feeding our cells, equipping them to fight whatever issue that we're dealing with sounds like a good, smart thing to me.
Yeah, I love it. I want to share with you guys really quick a picture you got to see on the flyer, kind of before the accident. And this is during the accident, all of the casts that he had to go through, learning to walk again, so that you have this kind of, gradual healing that's building is just so encouraging. And I'm so excited to see what the next, year brings for you, Harley. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. That was so wonderful. How amazing the healing, and, just that you're feeling so much better that you can wean yourself off the medication. I mean, who wants to be on medication? That is so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
our final guest tonight is Doug Farrar. Doug lives with his wife, Sharon, in Coral Springs, Florida, and they have 3 children. And, 10 years ago, Doug decided to get serious. And he was serious about his health and has made some incredible changes. And so I can't wait for you to hear from Doug.
Thank you, Kirsten, and thank you, everybody. These stories are amazing, and it's just exciting. I never get tired of hearing these stories in the Juice Plus community, because it just really reminds us over and over the power of nutrition and what something as simple as fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And that's all Juice Plus really is. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. I mean, we have our fruits, we have our veggies, and we have our berries. And it's like super simple. It makes sense. It's nothing weird or anything like that. It's fruits and vegetables and berries. And just imagine if you were able to eat all these fruits. I mean, it would be better than Juice Plus, but it's impossible to eat that variety every single day and to get all that nutrition into your body. And that's what we get to do with it. So I'm super thankful for this, because, as a typical person, I know that my story is very similar to a lot of stories out there. If it's not you, then you certainly know somebody in your family that has a similar story as me. And that is, typically we just kind of do what everybody else is doing. We eat what everybody else is eating. It seems kind of normal. There's fast food, there's white bread, there's all these things. And I got out of college, 20, 30 years ago. And, you just kind of get into your career, you're working, you're doing things, and you put on a couple pounds a year. It doesn't seem like a big deal. What's a couple pounds here or there? Well, next thing you know, you're 40 years old. It's 20 years later, and you went from being 190 pounds in college to 260 pounds. And it's like, what the heck happened? I was on blood pressure and cholesterol medication. So I was overweight. I was, like my wife said, I was a walking heart attack, ready to happen at any time. And she was scared. She would literally cry. She was already on a health journey. Juice Plus has been in our house for longer than these last 10 years, but I'm a guy, it takes us longer sometimes, and I thought that I could figure it out, because I tried everything. I felt like I was always on a diet. I tried, the low carb, the starve yourself diet, the Weight Watchers, you name it. I did it all, but nothing worked. Nothing worked for me. But then, we had a special surprise in our family. We have some, our boys are a little bit older, but then we had, when we were 40, we had our baby girl. And I realized when she is 20, I was doing the math, I was going to be 60 years old. And it's like, uh-oh, I don't think I'm going to make it to 60 at the road I'm on. This is bad. So I started making some changes. And I'll tell you what, by taking these products consistently, not just when my wife would say, here, you got to take this. I mean, every day, and doing that, and then switching out and using some of our other products. We have this smoothie mix, our complete shakes. which are just amazing. They come in a powder form. So where the Juice Plus is like our micronutrients, the Complete is like our macronutrients, and it's a meal replacement, really. It's a vegan protein powder that's amazing. And what I did is I switched out, the bagel shop for the smoothie in the morning. We put all kinds of good things in there, chia seed and all kinds of good stuff, and we get some peanut butter going in there with almond milk or rice milk. And excuse me, it's amazing. Kirsten, can you throw that slide up for me about the and one of the things that's really important, if you've ever struggled with weight loss or somebody that experiences this, what would happen to me was I would, if you look at a high glycemic meal, that's the light line. What happens is you eat it, like let's say you have a couple Snicker bars or something because you think you need something to hold you over. Snickers really satisfies, right? No, it doesn't. It only does for like the first half hour, but then your blood sugar drops down and you find yourself starving. I remember a time when after I would have a bagel for breakfast, I'd be lightheaded and feel dizzy if I didn't start eating by noon. But what happens when we have something that's low glycemic index, which our Complete smoothies are, that's the dark line. What happens is the sugar releases slowly, and it's a healthy sugar, and that's what we call the zone of willpower. And so you could take that slide down now. But what happens for me with that, and other people too, is that you have this smoothie for breakfast and it keeps you satisfied, and over time I've been able to use these smoothies, but then also adopt some of the other programs and things that we teach within our Juice Plus community. We have something called the Shred 10, which I love because all these diets I've tried throughout my life, they haven't worked. And the Shred 10 isn't about like what you are supposed to eat. It's about, hey, let's avoid certain things. Let's make a little change here and there. And over time, I've been able to do that. And the results that I've had are that I've lost 40 pounds. I feel better than ever. I'm more active than ever. And my blood pressure and my cholesterol have now gone down. Also, all my numbers are going down. And I no longer need medication for any of that stuff. So while I used to be a walking heart attack, now I know that someday I'm going to be walking my little girl down the aisle at her wedding and not just not have to be a memory for them of when they were growing up. I'm going to be involved in their lives, and I want to live a long, long life and a healthy life. And I know that I'm doing that in this community and using these products.
Cool. Great.
You're muted, Kirsten.
Thank you. Oh, Doug, that was so great. How exciting that you've seen that. You've been able to lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and the weight loss, and how, you're going to be around for a long time. So I can't wait to see you walk little Emma down the aisle. It's going to be exciting. But you guys, I'm thrilled that you were able to join us tonight. As you've heard, we are so grateful for Restored Health. We're so grateful for this community, and we're incredibly grateful for Juice Plus and the person that invited us to take a look at it and add it to our lives. So I hope that you guys have been inspired, and maybe you're already on this journey with us. But if you're not, we really encourage you to get back to the person who invited you tonight to learn more about Juice Plus, how you can incorporate it into your life, how maybe you can incorporate the Shred 10 like Doug did, and even be a part of this community, because we need people to help us inspire healthy living around the world. And we want to share this with as many people as possible. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of Project Thankful. We are so grateful for you in this community. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Everyone, bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.